Hello and welcome back to our next video in Essay Masters undergraduate course. Now we're going to provide high-level strategies for any other essay prompts that you may encounter. Let's dive right in. Now, understand there are hundreds of different prompts and it would be impossible to cover all of them in a short video like this. So the strategies we provide here are meant to be more of a guideline than specific advice for any one school. So with that said, the mentality for working on these is the same. These are your chance to express a part of yourself, your thought process, and your interests and goals. In other words, you. So, how do you start? Relate each and every prompt, even the ones that seemingly don't ask anything about you, to a specific aspect about yourself and explore the possibilities. For essays that ask about diversity, for example, you may ask yourself what aspect of yourself do you most value or cherish? For community essays, what place do you feel most comfortable in? Or what place has most shaped who you are? And for the unusual prompts, like you might see for some Ivy League schools or Chicago, what resonates with you most strongly? What do you feel like would both answer the prompt and reveal something about yourself? As a general strategy, when answering these, as usual, be personal and don't tell someone else's story. More than the personal statement and the why school or major essays, we see people tend to fall into discussions about what the community or what a figure being quoted did, rather than how they, the applicant, experienced them. We understand the desire to provide context, but you're really just sharing someone else's story. The best thing you can do is to just focus on you. Second, understand the exact question. This goes back to one of our laws. The worst thing you can do is copy and paste an answer for another prompt without realizing the subtle differences. We see, for example, two questions about community, but one may ask how you fit into the community, and one may ask how it has shaped you. Same topic, but different angle. With that said, though, don't sacrifice your story for the sake of creativity in answering an exact question. We usually see this with Chicago or Dartmouth, where the unique nature of the prompts can lead people to get so creative that they don't actually say anything about themselves. Creativity is really good, but losing sight of why you're writing these is not. But understand, with everything said, have fun with what you're writing and don't just say what you think they want. It's easy to get stressed with these essays coming up with a perfect answer, but a quick Google search will show that essays about things like Costco and Papa John's got people into Ivy League schools. We've seen essays like knitting and robotic competitions also working. It's not that you shouldn't take these seriously, but you should be willing to take some risks and have fun with it. Trust us, it's a real pleasure to read essays that you can tell were written with great joy. So with that said, let's provide some examples of bad and good writing. Here, we're going to talk about how not to write a diversity essay. This one says, do not consider myself diverse. I have spent much of my time interacting with various backgrounds. I have seen how other cultures operate and have developed an open mind. At Duke, I will carry this openness to campus. So, for one, this doesn't even say how this applicant is diverse. If you're in this spot, we understand you may feel like you aren't diverse, but go beyond the common markers of diversity. For example, do you live in a rural area while your peers are closer to the city? Do you want to ultimately work for a nonprofit while your friends dream of being lawyers, bankers, and doctors? Diversity isn't just skin color or nationality. Second, this doesn't show us anything. There's no story. And part of that as well is because the writing is really bland. There's no detail, no specificity, nothing of interest here. An admissions officer looking at this essay is likely to just skim it over and give it no weight. On the other hand, let's look at an essay about community that works well. This one reads, when I wanted to put up an art installation featuring Corella around my Southeast Portland neighborhood, something really surprised me. I was met with backlash. I could tell a lot of them felt uncomfortable with images of brown people around the neighborhood. But once the installation was up, my neighbors were impressed and liked the artwork, asking me questions. So what works with this essay is that it's very specific and we can immediately figure out a lot of details about this person. While there is information about the community, it all revolves around the applicant's particular experiences. There's also a story here and not just a direct and dry answer to the prompt. And for this specific essay, this essay was in response to a Dartmouth prompt which asked, quote, everything changes, everything moves, everything revolves, everything flies and goes away, observed Frida Kahlo. Apply Kahlo's perspective to your own life. In this particular instance, we can see exactly how this condensed version of the full essay directly addressed that particular prompt. Once you've written all of your essays and you now think you're set, come back here for our final video and we'll go over some final steps you can do to ensure your essays for your dream school are as good as can be.